you know, with like my takeaway, it just, for me, overall, the experience just really kind of confirmed for me without a doubt that I am where I'm supposed to be, with this business, just with everything. It was really eye-opening. It was really life-changing, um, to the whole thing. You know, Unique's, they say uplift, empower, validate women. And when you are there and there's 10,000 women, you really see those three words come to life. It's surreal. And, women that you've never met just coming together, and you get to experience that firsthand. So if I ever doubted my place with this company, all that was squashed right there in that moment. And it wasn't even so much like, with the classes, they gave such great information. It lit the fire. It made me want to be the best leader I can possibly be. It, made me want to come back and just like jump on my team and just love them and just be like, all right, guys, let's go, let's go, let's go. It just like ride that momentum and just bring it all together and just share. And I was like in class and like messaging my team and like telling them as I'm learning and just wanting to explode. And, and then I get home and you're surrounded. And I kind of said this like in the family page. I was surrounded by all this love and this positive energy, and it felt so good. And I got home and I went to work and I felt drained. And I was like, where's all this good, this happy? And it kind of made me reevaluate some places in my own life that I felt like I'm settling in some areas. So it made me take a look within myself, some things that I need to change. And, Melanie's speeches, and Derek's speeches at the end, and we all kind of talked about this amongst ourselves, that they didn't have to go that route with talking about it. They could have talked about business related stuff, but they didn't, with being a cycle breaker and breaking the cycle, and, the mission. And, you talk about the retreat and things like that, but until you see it, and we got to experience that with the one lady that they had there, and just seeing the emotion on their faces and the emotion that filled the room. And like, it was just, it touched my heart. It put it to me, like, made me want to fight harder for this company, and push harder when I got home, to where I will never stop doing what I'm doing. Like, I'm in this for the long haul, and no matter what. So, kind of with that, my mind's all over the place because I'm nervous about what I have to do next after this too. So, but I think all in all, it's just an experience that it's hard to explain, but I want everybody to go and experience it. It's like, it makes you dig down and realize what your why is. And if you were unsure of what your why is, and when you go to convention, you will know what your why is and why you were doing it, and what your purpose is in this business. And as far as the classes go, those were just phenomenal. That other women who were in those upper levels are so willing and open to share kind of like their secrets to success, and are forthcoming with that. And they break it down to you in ways that you can understand, and you can take it back and you can actually make something of it. And so I don't know what, I'm just rambling, I feel like.
Girl, you just sharing from the heart. That's it.
I am, and but
Yeah.
like I said, I think for me, mine was more personal. I mean, I cried like every day. I cried like walking that stage. For me, there was so much emotion. Like it almost felt like an out of body experience for me. Like I was on that stage, and it was like I was there, but I wasn't there. And that moment was the most amazing moment for me ever, to walk that stage as an elite green presenter. And I wish that for everybody. I hope everybody gets to experience of that, if if that's why you're here, if that's what you want to do. If you want to make something of yourself in this business, I hope you all have that excitement. I hope you all have that drive. I hope you all have that self-motivation. And if you're lacking that, I hope that we can bring that out in you. I hope that our excitement in this is contagious for you. I hope that, we all came together in June and had that push for Black. I hope that we can get that back and work together again and just find that, because it's worth it. It is so worth it. And we don't need to lose that, y'all. It's just, we need to get that back, and we need to just push and keep moving forward. And when they say ride that momentum, we need to do it. We need to stick together, and we need to do it together, because I'm telling y'all, this company, this mission is bigger, and it's worth it. And these women that we're doing this for deserve it. They deserve it. And we are giving them something that is unbelievable. And I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it, and I'm going to continue to be a part of it.
Yep.
So.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm going to stay on until I got to go.
Okay. I think Rose is going to share next. Maybe. Oh, there you go.
I don't even know how to work this.
I got you.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never done this before, so this is kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, my stomach has been really hurting all day, and it really hurts right now. So if I jump up, it's because I have to go to the bathroom. Just throwing that out there. But so my kind of takeaway from convention, I mean, of course, there's a million different things that I could say, and I don't want to say anything else that anybody else was planning to say, so I'm going to try to stay focused. But you need to go. I'll just throw that out there. But what I kind of wanted to talk about is learning about yourself. And so I don't know who's all watching or anything, and I don't know if you know about what I do in my full-time job and stuff, but I'm a counselor, and so a lot of this stuff that was actually talked about at convention has a lot to do with what I do every day at my job. And so I was kind of trying to put it all together, but not therapize you, but use what I know from my job to incorporate it with what I learned at convention. And it's just this idea of self-awareness. And sometimes it's really hard to look in the mirror and recognize what's going on. Especially for me, I make a ton of excuses, and I am the first person to admit that. I know I make a ton of excuses. But I haven't really, it's I know it, so I'm aware of it, but it's what do you do once you have that awareness? So some of the things that were brought out in convention, relating to this, is figuring out what you're afraid of. What are your fears? What's holding you back? What is preventing you from reaching the goals that you have, whether your goal is to get pink or blue or Black, or, just building a team, or, expanding your network, whatever your goals are. What is the fear that's holding you back? Are you afraid of what people are going to think of you? Are you afraid you can't do it? Are you afraid this is just going to be another failure? Figure it out. You got to figure out what's holding you back before you can do something about it. So fears, but also what are your strengths? I don't remember who it was. I took 12 pages of notes at convention, you guys. So I was trying to look through and figure out who said what, so I could tell you some of the different speakers, but it's not going to work right now. So it's especially if you're building a team, right? So it's like figuring out what are your strengths, what are your limitations, and how do you use the other people who are on your team to like fill in the gaps. So like if I'm really good, I don't even know, like I'm not even able to think of examples right now, but like if Whitney's really good at one thing, but she needs help with like something else, she can delegate with like her elites or with other people on her team to try to help out in those other areas. Or if she's like putting a lot of energy into one thing and really doesn't have time to do something else, then she can like help other people or use other people to help her for the stuff that she needs help with. So it's like figuring out like, okay, I'm good at making connections with people, or I'm good at adding people on Facebook but not so good at making those like relationships, or like I'm not good at coming up with creative posts, or just kind of figuring out, like, we all know what we need to do. Like Whitney posted something in the group today, maybe yesterday. Oh no, what's my computer doing? And it had like a list of things to do. So it's like, we know what to do, right? Like it's there, we know what to do. Figure out which of those things you're good at and which of those things you're not like maybe super good at, and figure out how to maybe get better at those things, or how to use other people to kind of fill in those gaps. And then, like I said earlier, once you figure out all this stuff, you get to make a plan for how to deal with it. So like, okay, I'm afraid of this and I'm not very good at that. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to ask for help? Are you going to do some self-development? Are you going to give up? Don't do that. Like figure out like how you can work with what you got. Trying to read my scribbles. So I did write down Amanda Lawrence. I really liked her class that she taught, and she said that we lie to ourselves every day, and we lie to ourselves when we say like, I'm too tired to do this, or I don't have enough time to do that, or like I'm never going to be successful at this, or all those things that go through your mind. You're lying to yourself in a way that's negative. But she said you can lie to yourself in a way that's positive. And instead of fake it till you make it, it's faith it until you make it. You got to believe that you can do it. And now I don't know who said this, but I think it was her too, to have faith in the person you want to be. So do that self-awareness, that self-exploration of who you are now, and then do it for who you want to be. What do you want yourself and your future and your business to look like? And figure out what's like the gap and what's missing there, and like believe in that person that you can be. And that's how you're going to start to behave and think and do things in the ways that are going to get you to be that person. Give yourself permission to believe in yourself too. That stuck out to me because, especially for me, because I was super honored to get an award at convention, which I'm still like super can't believe that happened. And like I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, so I believe that Jess can requalify green, and Mel can requalify green, and everybody can requalify there, and Rachel can get green, and all these people are going to hit blue, and Caitlin can get pink. And it's like, maybe I don't believe I can hit pink. And so it's like, we believe in all of our other Y sisters, and we believe in everybody else's potential. You got to start believing in your own. Yeah, Whitney, raise the roof. So give yourself permission.
You about to make me bust out in a dance.
Hey. And the kind of the last thing that I'll say is progress is a process. So sometimes we think like if we don't have a huge like gain in our business that it didn't mean anything, but every little step you take is making progress. Every sale you get is progress. Every new connection you make is progress. And it might not go straight up like this, and it might be kind of like this until you get to where you want to be, but progress is a process, but progress is progress. And so to not discount any of the positive stuff that's happening. So kind of like to wrap all this up is like, it's kind of like what's happening up here, your thought process. And it's like your mindset, but a different version. It's like your mindset of yourself. So self-awareness, self-acceptance, like that's a whole, I could talk about this literally all day, you guys, because this is like what I do at my job, and it's so important. And I'm not saying that I'm good at it either. Like, that's why I wanted to talk about this, as a reminder to myself. Like, I know all this stuff and I tell everybody else about it, but when am I going to start using it on myself? So just kind of like take a look in the mirror. Where are you? Who are you? Where do you want to be? How are you going to get there? And there was like something else. Oh, so there's this thing called like circle of control that I teach at my job, and I'll do this real quick. So basically there's only 4 things that each of us can control: what you think, how you feel, what you do, and what you say. Okay? And all of those things affect each other. So if you are in a if you got stinking thinking and you're like, dang, this sucks, blah, 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 you're going to feel kind of like down, and you're going to feel unmotivated and like just like upset. And then you're going to do things that reflect those thoughts and feelings. And the things that you say are going to reflect those thoughts and feelings. And if you do stuff that makes you like not accomplish anything, then you're going to think, oh, well, I didn't even do anything today. This was a waste of a day. And it's like this cycle that goes round and round and round. So take control of your thinking so that you can take more control of how you feel. And that's going to have way better positive outcomes for what you do and say. So that's, I think, what I got. And I hope that that came out not as like preachy, but just like, it's like, you like I just said, like you know all this stuff, and then like, what do you do with it? So it's like a reminder to myself, like, hey, you gotta start doing this stuff.
Yeah, my favorite part of what you were saying was that we can always believe it for other people, but we don't ever like put that on ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We can see it for everybody else, but it's so true. So true. Right. No, that was awesome. It made total sense.
Cool.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yay.
Faith.
Okay. Hey guys. I'm sorry. I'm extremely exhausted, so I'm going to try to get this out and make sense and not ramble. So, first off, I want to say that I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be able to even experience what we experienced at convention. I thought I knew what I was in store for, but I really had no idea what it really was all about. And seeing all those people come together and just the excitement and the good vibes and how everybody just cheers one another on. It was incredible to witness and see firsthand. And I encourage you next year, if you haven't already bought your ticket, to plan on saving so that you can buy your ticket and you can go experience what this is all about. Nope, baby. Thank you. I had a lot of, and I still do, I had a lot of self-doubt, and I want to be kind of raw with you guys because I think it's something that we don't really talk about that much. When I first joined Younique, I did it just because I wanted the extra income. I had no idea what was going to come along with it, but I had a lot of self-doubt. I didn't think, I could do this. I mean, I don't know anything about makeup. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I never have. I've always been kind of a natural girl. I have been on a weight loss journey. So like with the whole, like how you feel about yourself, I'm not very confident, and I haven't been very confident in the way that I feel about myself for a long time. So listening to these speakers and being encouraged by them and telling you that anybody can do this. Everybody is somebody, and nobody there is better than anybody else. Every single person started out as a white status presenter. Every single person that spoke to us was where we are or where they were at some point. And you have to stop comparing yourself to every other person out there. You see, some of these girls that rise so quickly, and you're like, man, I want to do that. Like, how are they doing that? And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to see them do that. I mean, you're happy for them, but you're just like, what am I doing wrong? So with that being said, they talked a lot about, and Whitney says this a lot, and Brooklyn says it a lot, about consistency and being consistent. And I know it is so hard to, everybody's got lives and everybody's got stuff going on. Y'all, I work like 40, 50 hours a week. I got 2 kids during the school year. We have a million things going on. But if you pay attention, if you're in my group or you pay attention to what I do, every morning I wake up and I post on my personal page and I post in my group. Some sort of inspirational post, and then I post something about Unique. And I try to do that every day, and then I try to post when I get off work. I can't really post during work because my company wouldn't like that. So I try to, be sensitive to that, because while I'm at work, that's who I'm working for. But Unique is my business too. It's my business. So I want to make sure that people know that I am there if they have questions, if they need anything, that I'm not giving up, that this isn't just some fad, because I think that's a lot that I hear from a lot of people is, wow, there's so many people doing this. It's just another fad. You're not going to stick with it, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you, like Rose was saying, if you speak it and you plan on doing it, if you say, I am going to stick with this, this is what I want to do, this is who I want to be, then that's who you can be. I mean, you have to believe it. And sometimes believing in yourself is the hardest thing to do. So that's really what the biggest thing that I took away from it is, just you have to believe in yourself. You have to stop comparing yourself to everybody else, and you just have to be consistent in your business. So that's what I got.
That's good. So good. No, it's true. I'm glad you were honest, because I think, Amanda Lawrence, the one who Rose shared a bunch of her stuff from, started her class with asking everybody who in here has not believed in themselves, who in here has ever wanted to give up. And there wasn't a soul in there that didn't raise their hand, y'all. Not one person, because we've all been there. But it really is like the only thing that separates the person who doesn't succeed and who does is that they just don't give up. It's not that we don't ever think of those things. It's not that I don't ever, I'm like, oh, we hit a certain rank, I'm good now. You're always going to go through that. Like your mind literally just lies to you all the time, and it plays tricks on you all the time. And you have to, like Rose said, you have to lie to yourself in a good way. Like tell yourself you kick ass and you're badass and you're awesome. Like even if you don't feel like it, because you are not incapable, you're not unworthy, you don't suck. Like you are not going to fail at this business. So when you tell yourself those lies every single day, just take those and flip them, flip those lies and be like, if you're going for green this month, if you're going for a blue, go ahead and tell yourself you're blue, and I think that was one of the biggest things I took away, is that rank does not establish your leadership. It doesn't matter if you're white, yellow, pink, blue, doesn't matter where you are. Your rank does not determine if you're a leader or you're not. You become a leader and you establish yourself as a leader the moment that you sign up, the moment that you decide that you want to do this. That's what determines your leadership. Seeing these girls in here speaking, that's leadership. You have to establish yourself now, and you have to go ahead and train your team, teach your team, be that leader for them now. Because it's kind of I probably won't say this right, but let's just say you make $25,000 a year, right? Okay, so you make $25,000 a year. If you can't manage that $25,000 a year, how are you ever going to manage $40,000 a year? It's the same thing with a team. If you can't manage, and I don't mean manage because none of us are managers, but you know what I mean? You can't lead and you can't motivate and you can't encourage and you can't be that leader for 2 people, it's going to be really, really hard for you to lead a team of 15, 100, 300. So go ahead and practice that stuff now. Look at yourself in the mirror every single day and tell yourself that you're a leader and you're a badass leader. Because if you can't do that now, it's just really, and I'm not saying that you're never going to have days where you don't feel like it, because God knows I feel like that all the time. I'm I was the suckiest leader ever. I still feel like that. I have to get personal development. I have to like lean in on a friend that's going to tell me and lift me up and boost me up. But none of those things are going to be or take the place of doing what in my mind I tell myself. There's no book I'm going to read. There's no person that's going to be able to tell me something that I don't accept up here. It all starts right here. So for me, convention wasn't about the tips. It wasn't about like all the things they could tell us to do with our businesses and being the leader and social media tips. Y'all, just going to shoot really straight with y'all. This is stuff we know. I mean, I left some of those classes telling like all of us, we're like, we've heard that stuff before. You know, it's not that we haven't heard this. We know this. It's just how bad do we want this? How bad do we want this? How, like, are we going to really step in and like apply this? And like, you know, Faith was saying, I know she's super busy. She's got a freaking full-time job. And I know a lot of you guys have jobs where you can't necessarily get to your phones during the day all the time, but like honor your commitments afterwards. Like if it takes getting up an hour early, and that depends on your goals, you know, like some of you may be in here just looking for extra money to do a light bill a month or to pay for extra vacation. But some of you I know want to turn this into full-time income or maybe even replace your jobs. And if those are the kind of goals that you have, that you want to get that dream car, like Caitlin with your Mustang, like who else had, the Mercedes, like the SUV, if those are the kind of dreams and the goals that you have, like you can't have $1 million like goal with a 99-cent work ethic, you know, like go ahead and treat this like a business right now, because it's never going to get to that $1 million like place if you're just being like, oh, I'm just tired, man. Like I'm getting home late. I really just want to get in bed and curl up with Netflix and, you know, watch TV. Like, and sometimes we got to let ourselves have those days. We've got to and honor your commitments. I mean, I posted that, I think yesterday I talked about that. You know, if it's setting the alarm on your phone, there's so many tools. Set an alarm on your phone, or like, you know, use one of those programs that'll post for you. Set aside that time with your children, and we got 10 minutes. Okay. Set aside that time with your family, like, so that when you do pick those times, like you feel good about it, you honor it, and you're like, no, this is my time. Like, this is my free time. This is my family time, and you know, whatnot. But when you like sit down and do your business stuff, y'all, we know the stuff. Like we know the adding the friends, and we know the like building relationships, and we know the make our posts on Facebook. This is not new stuff to anybody in here. Everybody knows it. It's the difference is up here. It's in our mind. What are we telling ourselves every day when we look in the mirror and look at ourselves every day? How are we seeing ourselves? That makes the biggest difference for me. That was what convention was about. And to kind of piggyback on what Mel was saying, I already knew this company was different. I already knew that it was incredible. It was amazing. But just being at convention made me see that in a whole new light. It made it more real to see some of the things that they do for the victims, you know, the women of childhood sexual abuse. It made it more real to see that one girl, I posted it, if you guys are on my VIP page, the difference, her before and after, of her eyes before, her eyes afterwards. She's just one, y'all. She's just one of like thousands of women who've been affected by the retreat that they went on. It's just, and who they are, like who our founders are, like we're the fastest direct sales company, like growing, like our numbers have grown faster than any other company. And I see why, you know, it's not because we have good makeup, y'all. I mean, honestly, if it was just because it was good makeup, I mean, there's other good makeup out there. There truly is. I obviously think ours is the best, but the truth of it is that if it was just about makeup, this wouldn't have happened. It's their character, it's who they are, and that trickles down into us as presenters. Like they really do care about each individual person. And I know that might sound like a whole lot of like BS sprinkled with sugar on top, but it really isn't. And when you're there and you're with them and you're with other presenters and you're with the leaders and the CEOs of the company, and you see how they treat each person, they don't care to stop and take a photo with anybody. Just the things that they talked about while they were there. Like if you haven't went and watched Derek or Melanie's closing speeches, I mean, yeah, they brought out information all week long and told us stats and filled us in with like new products because everybody's hyped about that. And everybody was so excited to hear about new eyeshadow palettes and, you know, whatever. That's how we run our business. That's how we make our money, yada, yada. But, okay, Dina, I'll give you some time too. Thank you. But the truth of it is like they're like why they started this company really was like they didn't need the money, you guys. They were already very wealthy. They were already very well off. The whole family was. They did this because they wanted to make a difference in the women of childhood sexual abuse, and they wanted to make a difference in all of y'all's lives. They wanted to be able to have something that could create freedom and financial freedom and belief in people and belief in yourself and just the life that everybody's always wanted, and in their mind thought that it was never possible for them, because that's the difference it's made in my life, is to be able to create a life that I did not ever think would be mine, that I never saw myself living out. And one of the quotes I love so much, and I love this company too, is because I love really direct sales, period, is because it's not about you, y'all. It ain't about you, it ain't about me. Like, it's just not. Direct sales is built on letting other people rise, because you're not going to go anywhere if you don't help your team. You're going to stay right there. And I love that. Like, that motivates me. That like makes me want to jump out of my skin, because I know I'm like, holy crap, I'm not successful unless my team's successful. I love that. I love knowing that like I get to lift other women up, and I love to see their paychecks grow, and I love to see them believing in themselves and their confidence rising. And I think that's amazing that we get to do that. But this was actually from Brooklyn's class, and it said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. One is too small of a number to achieve greatness. And that's just something I want us all to think about, is this is all about team. It's all about us coming together, and it's all about linking arms with the person beside of you and taking them along for the ride with you. Somebody just sent a chat. Hold on, who was that? We rise by lifting others. Yes, I love that quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. Okay, we got 5 minutes. I'm going to let Dina hop on. Where are you at, girl? Oh, there you are. Okay. Unmute you. Unmute myself.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm still new to this. I'm still new to Younique. I am yellow status, and I did go to the convention. I had a blast, and what these girls said is pretty much what I think. It's what I feel, and it was definitely hard. Coming into Younique was hard because, of course, I was born without an eye, and I have, some facial deformities, and I think, people look at me a little awkward unless you know me, and then when you get to know me, you're kind of like, oh, okay, she's just like everybody else. I'm just like every other girl. I like to wear makeup, but I don't wear it like some of these girls do. I mean, the way they put it on, I've learned a lot from Whitney. But the convention itself was amazing. It was amazing. 10,000 women, and I didn't know any of them. I didn't know Whitney. I've seen her, on Facebook. I didn't know Caitlin, didn't know Faith. I didn't know Rose and Kim. They were all so welcoming. Everybody was so welcoming and made me feel like I was part of the family, part of their group. Even the ladies that's not on our team, they just felt like you were supposed to be there. You felt like we were all a family. And the ladies that spoke, all the Black status, I definitely learned a lot. I learned about making a brand for myself. I didn't really know that aspect of, making a brand, I know about a name, of your group and stuff like that, but making a brand and making it yours and yours only. But it was amazing, eye-opening, and I loved it. I don't even know how much to say. And the company itself, You know, like these girls said that they cried. I did a live video last night and I cried through the whole thing. I cried through, I cried like a baby throughout the whole thing. And the words that they use, it's so, it actually touched my heart. And not that I've been sexually abused or anything like that, but making it like, let's see, you know, I am, and I will. Those hit hard, you know, because I have grown. I think I've grown a lot just being with Unique. You know, I mean, it's definitely difficult growing up, people making fun of me. But I've tried to overcome those things and try to. I have a great family. My mom and dad are awesome. They made me be the person that I wanted to be and not hold me back, not be in a bubble, not be, you know, I was a cheerleader. I swam, you know, danced. I did all these things and about just being who you are. And I think that's what this company has helped me do, and be the person that I am and that I want to be and that I want people to see. And I want to be able to, you know, help other women, you know, maybe if they don't feel pretty, you know, feel pretty. And I think that the foundation, and Unique is doing an awesome job, and why there isn't more people out there that want to help, you know, women that are abused or children that are abused. And it's just amazing. So I just wanted to say, I guess that's about it. And I couldn't see what you were saying. What did you say?
You're making us all cry. It's fine.
No, no, but, and Whitney is amazing. You are an amazing leader, and I keep saying that, you know, and she gave me, you know, a trophy of being an inspirational woman. That touched my heart. And I wasn't expecting that at all. You know, I like to think that I am an inspiration to people, but, you know, it's just, like I said, I'm just another girl. But thank you, Whitney. Thank you for being an awesome leader.